After a successful road trip to Waco, the Auburn Tigers head home 1-0 as they turn their attention to the Ball State Cardinals. And here to preview the game and show you all the things I'm looking for, I'm Will Maness. You're watching The Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Coon.
Welcome into The Crowded Booth. My name is Will Maness. We're talking Auburn today. It's just me, so you know we're talking Auburn. Auburn coming off a big 38-24 win on the road against the Baylor Bears. Home opener this weekend. Bit of a snooze fest on Saturday night. Ball State coming in, a team that Auburn has hosted quite a few times and beaten down quite a few times. The 2025 edition should be more of the same for the Tigers. Just to recap that game against Baylor, just in it personally shocked, honestly, at the way Auburn performed, the way Auburn was able to close out that game. A bit unexpected, especially from what we had seen the first 2 years under Hugh Freeze. You kind of had the sense Auburn got off to a good start, and you're kind of sitting there like, well, how are they going to blow it this time? And that was certainly the theme last year, and kind of sort of certainly the theme heading into 2025. But Auburn got it done. They certainly closed out the game. They ended the game. Sometimes games end when the clock ends. Sometimes it's the team ahead gets another score to put them away. That's what Auburn did with that touchdown run by Jackson Arnold on fourth down. To get Auburn up by 2 scores. To continue to take a look at last week, some things that Auburn did well certainly was run the football. 300 yards on the ground as a team, really, really good. Jackson Arnold, the leading rusher, with 137 yards. After thinking more about it for the last week and watching back some things, I was really impressed with Damari Alston and Jeremiah Cobb, Auburn's tailbacks. A couple of guys that have waited their turn and waited their time, and now 2025 is their time. They certainly got off to a good start. Both of them finding the end zone. Alston averaging over 5 yards a carry, Cobb about 4.5. Really efficient. Auburn's going to win a lot of football games if they can run the ball like that. And Baylor, certainly a solid football team to a really good football team. Expect to see them at the top of the Big 12 come the end of the year. They got a tough test this week against SMU. As you know, here at the Crowded Booth, we pony up. We love SMU. So we'll be tuned into that one. Some other things. Defensively, Auburn wasn't all that great, especially at times. It was a little bit of a struggle to get to the quarterback, but Auburn defended the run well, under 3 yards a carry against the run. As there's Pete Gate, as always, around here. Fourth down and third down defense was not happy with, but looking forward to Ball State. Certainly areas to improve on for Auburn, and we're going to jump right into the things that I want to see from Auburn on Saturday. I didn't watch any of Ball State's first game against Purdue. Purdue blanked them 31-0. Just looking at the stats, Ball State was bad. They only managed 200 yards of offense, 87 passing yards, 116 rushing yards. But Purdue able to beat them 31-0. Purdue, first year under Barry Odom, their new head coach, they are certainly at the bottom of the barrel of the Power Four, programs. So Auburn should just kind of be able to control this game and kind of do what they want to do against Ball State. And really, there's only one thing I want to see on offense, and that's impress and improve in the passing game. Baylor took it away. They played 2 high safeties the entire night. They took the passing game away. That's why you look at Jackson Arnold's stats, especially passing. They don't really jump off the page. 11 of 17, 108 yards. 65% completion is very good. That's where you want to be. no touchdowns, no picks. Auburn's leading receiver was Eric Singleton with 3 catches for 20 yards. A lot of guys caught a ball against Baylor. You had Eric Singleton with 3 catches, Horatio Fields and Brandon Frazier, believe it or not, getting 2 catches. Malcolm Simmons had the long catch of the night, his lone catch for 26 yards. Cam Coleman just 1 catch for 23 yards. Preston Howard, the Maryland transfer at tight end, 1 catch for 7 yards. And Jeremiah Cobb had 1 catch officially for 0 yards. So the passing game, not great against Baylor, but certainly a product of Baylor just trying to take that away and letting Auburn kind of just run all over them, which was really a surprise from Dave Aranda, a Dave Aranda coached team, knowing his acumen and how good his defenses have been historically, to just kind of accept that Auburn was just going to run the ball on them. It was shocking. So, we didn't see a ton in the passing game. I want to see more in the pass game. I think Auburn is going to be a point of emphasis against Ball State is to air it out, similar to the Alabama A&M game a year ago, and where Auburn just aired it out, and you had folks like me, and I came on this show last year and I picked Auburn to beat Cal, and that certainly didn't go well. But no, I think Auburn's going to air it out. I want to see 200, maybe 300 yards through the air for Auburn and for Jackson Arnold. I want to see, 5 catches apiece from Eric Singleton, from Horatio Fields, Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons. I think Auburn is going to really kind of try to push the envelope through the air in this game, especially being a game that they can just, if they have to run the ball to control the game, if the passing game's not working, they can do it. Ball State should not be a team that gives Auburn really any trouble. So I think Auburn, they're going to try to keep it through the air, especially early. So maybe the score doesn't look great, especially if they don't hit on some big passes. But I think it'll be a point of emphasis, and I think we're going to see Auburn throw it a ton. And we need to see it from the Auburn perspective, need to see them throw. How good is the passing game going to be? Because we certainly think it's going to be good with Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton headlining this very deep receiver room. But it takes time. Auburn's going to have to work out the kinks. This is the perfect opportunity to do that. The next 2 things I want to see, they're both on the defensive side, and we have to start with they got to tackle better. I thought the tackling, the angles, especially from the linebackers and the safeties against Baylor was poor. Caleb Harris certainly had probably one of his worst games in an Auburn uniform. He was kind of got exposed a couple times. So Auburn's going to have to tackle better. They got to take angles better, which is really odd. And listening to the comments from Hugh Freeze this week in his press conference, questioning why Auburn was so tired on defense. It was hot in Waco for sure. They were saying it was on the field at kickoff for a 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock local time kickoff. It was like 105 degrees on the turf at Baylor. So, and if you're in the Southeast, in the Auburn area, the Columbus area where I am, where this show is based from, it has been unusually cool, I think, for Labor Day weekend and a couple of weeks leading up to Labor Day. We've had highs in the 80s almost every day. It's been great. I have loved it. Feels like fall's finally getting here. So could that have affected Auburn and certainly led to some fatigue late in that game? We saw the Auburn defense gassed in the second half and missing some tackles, but they missed tackles early in the game too. So Auburn, you got to tackle better. Don't really know what the solution to that would be, other than maybe just be more physical. Certainly they've been doing tackling drills all week. Ralph was at practice and gave me that little nugget of information. Our own Ralph Leary hanging out at Auburn practice, working on tackling drills, and they certainly need to. If the Auburn defense can't tackle Ball State, we might need to be rethinking how we feel about this Auburn team. So got to tackle better on defense. Got to have better. The back end's got to be better. The front four for Auburn, which was a rotating cast. I'll go through the snap counts here shortly, but that front four from Auburn was really good. I mean, your three leading tacklers are Keyron Crawford, Xavier Atkins, and Keldrick Fogg. And Xavier Atkins, I mean, a guy that's kind of come out of nowhere. The LSU transfer had a big game, had 5 tackles. Got a quarterback hurry on Baylor's quarterback Sawyer Robertson. So it's certainly a bit of a coming out party for Xavier Atkins, his first extended action in an Auburn uniform. But you know, you keep going down the list. Robert Woodyard, the senior, had 3 tackles and a sack, 2 TFLs, so he was certainly making his presence felt. Keldrick Falk had that sack late in the game to kind of put the game away. I said on when that video came out Sunday, my little recap, my quick thoughts, that Keldrick Falk is the closer, and I think that's what he's going to be. Teams are going to double team him. They're going to try to scheme him out of games. So he's just going to have to be the closer. So Auburn had, there's too many to count here, guys that had a tackle. You know, I thought the front 4, the front 7 played well, but kind of that second team linebackers and the secondary, really outside of Eric Winters, really struggled. The true freshman Winters had a really good game. A couple of big pass breakups, had 3 tackles. So really nice debut from him. Need more of that from the secondary. Need more of that. And, you know, the last thing I want to see, Auburn's got to nail down who's playing on defense. They ended that game against Baylor, I think, with 28 or 29 guys getting snaps. When the depth chart came out last week, Auburn listed 33 starters on defense. Depth charts, I mean, you can should take them with a grain of salt, especially when you see Orr anywhere. Auburn loves to put Orr on their depth chart. It's kind of a tradition at this point for Auburn to have multiple starters at different positions. But you know, Auburn's got to kind of got to nail this down. I think if Baylor was not the first game of the year, if it was the second game or even the third game of the year, Auburn wouldn't have played 28 or 29 guys on defense. I think there was a couple guys out there that showed that they should not get as many snaps as they got. That's just too many guys. It's hard to get in a rhythm. It's hard to keep guys in the game when you're playing that many. So Auburn's got to nail it down. And looking at the snap counts for this defense, Baylor ran 91 plays. So certainly a lot of plays. Certainly leads to the fact that Auburn was gassed at the end of the game, especially playing so many guys. Just kind of looking at the splitting it by position, the snap counts. These numbers are coming from PFF. We like PFF around here. Keyron Crawford leading the way at edge and outside linebacker with 39 snaps. Xavier Atkins leading the way at inside linebacker with 44. Auburn only played 4 guys at inside linebacker, which is the smallest of the group. Xavier Atkins with 44 snaps, DeMarcus Riddick with 38, Robert Woodyard with 36, and Elijah Melendez with 19. Really interested to see if Elijah Melendez gets more snaps than that. And then you look at the secondary, Rashawn Pleasant, just 26 snaps. Obviously, we're all going to remember his kickoff return for a touchdown against Baylor, but he had a really, really good game. His 26 snaps at corner. I think we see those go up, and you look at other guys that got snaps at corner. Ryan Strader with 10, the Miami transfer, not too much impact. Jay Crawford and Kayan Lee. Auburn's got 2 lockdown guys on the outside. And I think either maybe you kick one of them to nickel, maybe you move Rashawn Pleasant to nickel, which I think is what will be the case. Now Champ Anthony had 55 snaps, playing mostly nickel and safety for Auburn, but he underwent a procedure on his thumb. He broke his thumb against Baylor, so he's going to be out for the Ball State game and likely will be out for the South Alabama game. Hugh Freeze said this week that the plan was to get him in a club and get him back on the field. So certainly his snap numbers will go down. So you got to figure out who your best. You can't just have 11. I would say probably your 15, maybe 17 or 18 best guys are on defense, and keep those guys out there. So, there's going to be a ton of snaps in this game. Auburn, or a ton of snaps and opportunities for guys on the defensive side in this game. Auburn should win this handedly, comfortably. So there will certainly be opportunity. So if you look at the stats, if you're into that like me, and you want to look at snap counts like that, the Baylor game is not, or the Ball State game is not going to be a great example of trying to figure out who's going to play on defense. But hopefully, from a fan perspective, Auburn will get it figured out, because there were some guys that probably got more snaps than they should have against Baylor, and probably more than they will get going forward, unless they show improvement. Because I tell you what, that Baylor game told you that this Auburn team certainly has a chance. Certainly has a chance. So to wrap up, things I want to see, I want Auburn to air it out, throw it around, figure out. I mean, Auburn's really going to have to figure out what the problems, if there are any, in the passing game in this game, because they threw it so little against Baylor. But when they did, they had some success. So air it out, figure out what the problems are, if there are any, and work out some of those kinks. I want to see the defense tackle better, and I want to see some separation in the depth chart a little bit on the defensive side, because it's great to have that depth, but man, 28, 29 guys playing every game, that's a lot of guys. That's a lot of guys. And you got to figure out who your best 14 or 15 are, and have them out there the most. I know Auburn is a big favorite in this game. Don't have the line in front of me. Auburn a big favorite. They should certainly win this game handily. It's hard to predict these games, especially from a point perspective. I think Auburn scored 70 on Alabama A&M. Auburn certainly could come out and score 50 against Ball State. I think they are certainly more than capable of doing that. It just kind of depends on the flow of the game. How many points does Hugh Freeze want to see his team score? But we'll put it this way: Auburn's going to win big, and get a home win, and get a home win, and figure some things out. I think Auburn can do that. Those are the goals. Get healthy, of course. Stay healthy is always a goal, and come away with the win. My name is Will Maness. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe so you don't miss anything we're doing. Hit that notification bell so you get notifications when we go live. We have live shows all throughout the week. This week has been a different schedule, with especially with Bryce and his LSU commitments. We do a ton of Georgia Tech coverage. It's probably what we're known for. Bryce does a great job with that. The Auburn stuff, you'll see me doing the Auburn stuff, and live shows, talking college football twice a week. We got best bets. By the way, we're off to a hot start. The boys are 6-0 to start the year. Like the video, subscribe so you don't miss anything. Come hang out with us when we're live. Leave your comments. We love to interact with you. We love talking to you. We want you to drive those live shows, drive a lot of the conversation for those live shows, so you don't want to miss them. My name is Will Maness. You've been watching The Crowded Booth. Thanks for watching.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Coon.